So, hey guys, in writing news, I can say that I think I may have finally figured out the balance to how I work. I mean, I kept, I've thought I've figured it out several times in the past, but I don't know. I mean, so far, I think I've finally got a good rhythm in that, I've discovered that it seems like as long as if I focus on anything, like if I try and set an arbitrary deadline or try to pursue a certain word count or page count, it just, I don't know, I just end up, I guess, anticipating too much. I end up stressing too much, and it becomes something I end up not enjoying as much. But it seems like when I just kind of make time to do it and then just, don't yell at myself if I don't start on time or anything like that, that I seem to get more done. And it may not be like as much had I tried to had I tried to keep myself to a quota, but I think that in the long run, it is healthier and better that, I just enjoy what I write. If I write like a page a day or something, it's like, that's still an extra page that I didn't have before. And if I just work on, if I feel, I guess, calmer about working on the ideas and working on, expanding them, and, it feels like I'm making progress. The other aspect of it, and this is something that I guess I just kind of subconsciously realized as well, was that um, if I focus on, what other people are doing, it just kind of makes the whole pressure worse, I guess. And I've been trying to think about, whatever anybody else is doing, whatever progress they are or are not making is not relevant to what you're doing. And I know I've told myself that before, but for some reason it seems like lately I've been better at internalizing that and just kind of being like, you know, hey, if anybody's got good news, bad news, whatever, it's like, hey, that's, what all that matters as far as what you're concerned is that you work on it and that you enjoy the process. And, so far it's been pretty good. But, we'll see. I mean, at the moment, what I'm working on is I'm primarily concentrating on one of my novel projects, which I had hoped to finish a couple of years ago. I have a lot of ideas on the drawing board, but now I actually think I can start working through them on a fairly steady basis. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance bigger and smaller projects, but at least I'm making what I would consider steady progress and writing some good material. So, hopefully I'll have something to show later this year. Maybe a couple things, and maybe if we're really lucky, maybe even three things. But I'm not getting ahead of myself yet. That's another thing I've also come to realize is that if I start talking about things like, if I say, want to have this out for X, it gets me nervous about it. So, I mean, I think what I need to do is not talk about what I'm going to do and talk about what I have done. Talk about things after I've reached a point where it's already, partly completed, where I feel confident in that I can keep going to the rest of it. And I think that those things combined will help a lot for the mentality part of it, just to keep me focused, to keep me steady, to keep me in a good place, to feel like this is my hobby, like this is my passion, not like this is something that weighs on me in unhealthy ways. And I do have a bit of good news. I was kind of pondering making this its own separate video, but I decided that was not really necessary because, it's the vlog is all about, I guess, me talking about what's going on in my world, how I'm feeling, all that kind of stuff, just so you guys have an idea of what's going on, and so that I actually keep people up to date on what goes on. And I have a little bit of good news. The job search, I believe, is finally over. And, by the time that this actually gets released, I should have some more details. You guys will probably find out about that in the next vlog. But suffice to say that I had a couple of interviews last week, and apparently one of those three jobs decided that they wanted me. So they extended an offer, which I accepted, and I will hear some more details on Monday. I'm hoping I'll have at least about a week before I have to go start my new job. But, needless to say, that'll affect things a little bit, but hopefully it won't slow down my level of production too terribly much because, I still want to try to be able to be writing fairly regularly during the week, but we'll see how that goes. But as far as the job itself, I know that it's with my old employer, and I don't know too much. I remember we talked about it a lot during the interview, but I've had so many interviews since May when I started looking for a job that it all kind of blurs together. But I kind of think that basically it's just managing the, I guess, administrative tasks of a department in the hospital. So, and from what it sounds like, I'll have to learn a lot of things, but I'm okay with that. I'm kind of looking forward to learning some additional skills, maybe being in a different part of the organization, and I think I think it'll work well. It looks like it might be a comparatively small staff, but I don't know. I think it'll be a kind of back office sort of position, and on the plus side, it seemed like, and this was something that was of significant concern to me, that I will be able to re-dye my hair and keep it the way that I like it. Because, even though, I knew my last position did not really, or at least they indicated they weren't really happy with it. I don't know what the issue was because I didn't think it was all that unprofessional looking. I thought it looked nice. I think it looks nice. But anyway, they mentioned that they had an issue with it, and I was, of course, figuring that whatever job that I ended up getting, that I should run that by them before I start, because particularly at least at this, I like to diet every 6 months. And I think last time I did it in like July, and January would have been when I would have done it again, but I held off because I was waiting to find out, if I had a job and if they would let me do it. One of the jobs I had 2 interviews for, and I thought it was going to be the one. But the answers that they gave me when I asked about possibly going to TFF and about dyeing my hair were not all that helpful. But, after a second interview, they haven't called me, and it's been like a week and change. So, I don't know if, they seem to indicate I was still in the running for the position, but, I hadn't heard anything after that. And, I interviewed for another job in the middle of the week, which also went well. But, I suppose at least for now, anyway, it's a moot point. The takeaway being that I, and I feel like it's in one of those, don't count your chickens before it's hatched kind of places. But for all intents and purposes, I have a job again, which is good for multiple reasons. Because for one thing, it'll mean a steady paycheck. It'll mean I can rebuild the dam, so to speak. It'll mean that I will have a steady livelihood for the time being going forward. It will mean that I can afford book covers and other such things that I will need for my writing endeavors. It means that I can afford to do Star Trek Las Vegas this summer if, God forbid anything happens. But I really hope that nothing, cons in general don't get canceled this year. But that being said, it really is, it's one of those things that kind of makes me have a little faith in the universe, I guess, because it's one of those situations where I may not have necessarily gotten what I wanted, although I kind of feel like I probably have, but I got what I needed when I needed it, more or less in the way I was hoping for. And, generally speaking, the universe has been pretty kind to me with all of this because, I don't know if I mentioned my check engine light came on a couple weeks ago and I was like dreading what that could imply. But it turned out to just require a little bit of fuel injector cleaner. And, then this offer came up. And, last week I was getting excited anytime an employer called because I was hoping maybe this was the time they would give me an offer. But, it was just a couple more interviews. And I was really getting sick and tired of the job hunting process. But, this week it came through for me, and I was thinking, this is because, you have to, where I will be employed. I'm not sure if I'm going to start from scratch as far as the time off process goes. But assuming I start like I'm a brand new employee, they have like a 6-month period during which you can't take time off because I think, for among other things, you don't have any time that you've accrued. So, I was concerned whether or not this would affect our potential summer trip. And, it came at a time when it looks like I will be able to keep that on schedule, I'll be able to afford it, and I will be able to have my blue hair. So, I mean, I really can't ask for anything more than that. So, I'm very grateful to the universe at this moment, and just, pleased that things seem to be working out. And, there's still some things that have got to be settled and dealt with over the next week or so. I still have to figure out how to do my taxes, which are a little different this year because all I had for income last year was unemployment. There's a couple of things I want to do before it's time to go back to work. Dyeing my hair is one of them, which will take pretty much all morning one day. Because if you've never had your hair colored, color takes a long time, even if you're just doing like a little bit of your hair. So it does take quite a bit of time. It does kind of make me wonder how I'm going to squeeze it in before the convention, because when we head to Vegas this summer, if that works out that way, it's going to be right around that time. And not to mention that I like having my blue hair look nice and bright when I go to a convention. So, but that is a bridge I will cross when I come to it. I mean, I know they're open on Saturdays. They might be open on Sundays. However I have to work it out, I will work it out, because that is important to me. And let's see. I guess that's really all, to talk about right now. I mean, that's kind of big news, but, maybe a few less topics than I usually cover. But that's it for now, and I guess I will catch you guys later.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. You can also find me on Twitter and a few other places on the web, or support me via Patreon or Ko-fi. Zebra hugs!